everyone, we're back in Giesela's kitchen. Today we're doing on special request a Christmas cake which my mother always used to make. It's we call it Oma's, well not Oma's, my children call it Oma's. It's Muti's spice cake that she always made at Christmas time. So for that we need 500 grams of flour, 300 grams of sugar, 300 grams of dark chocolate chopped into little pieces, 5 or 6 eggs. If they're large eggs, you only need 5 eggs. If they're small eggs, you will need 6 eggs. We need 2 heaped teaspoons of baking powder, some cloves and some cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of cloves and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and then 225 grams of butter and 4 tablespoons of just sunflower oil if you have, and then a little bit of caster sugar at the end, no, not caster sugar, icing sugar, to dust the cake with. My mom used to put rum in the cake. You're welcome to put rum into the cake. You sprinkle it over the top of the cake, but I prefer it without the rum, so I don't normally put the rum onto the cake. And yeah, so what you do is you take your flour. You don't need to sieve the flour. You add your sugar and you add your butter, sorry. You just cut up the butter into little blocks. I just remembered I need something else. You will. Right, so whilst I was putting the butter in, I realized that I forgot to tell you that you also need a few drops of lemon juice. You can use a fresh lemon, or you can use the bought lemon. So please don't forget to add that to your cake. So we've put the flour, the sugar, the butter. I'm going to put the eggs in next. Going to put it all into this bowl and mix it, and then you're going to pop it into the oven, which is at 180 degrees, for about half an hour to 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. Again, these are recipes handed down by my mom, so they weren't really ever written down. She had them in her head, and I've got them in my head, which is why I forgot to tell you about the lemon juice. I thought I'd put everything out. Anyway, so we put the eggs in. Just one more to go. You want to put your baking powder, your 2 heaped teaspoons of baking powder. Then you're going to put a teaspoon, love the smell of this stuff, a teaspoon of cloves in, which again it's a bit of a guess. I like to do it a nice heaped teaspoon because it really adds some nice spice to your cake. And then 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and again it's not an exact measurement, it's about 2 heaped teaspoons of cinnamon. It also smells really nice. Okay, so we've done that. Let's just put those away. And then you don't want to forget your 4 tablespoons of oil. There we go. Back to 4 tablespoons of oil. And then just a touch of lemon juice. 500 grams flour, 300 grams sugar, 225 grams of butter, and you're going to mix it all together. Together nicely, and it's made a nice dough. It's quite a stiff dough, and now you're going to add your chocolate, your dark chocolate, which you've chopped up into little pieces. That's about 300 grams there, and you just add that in there, and you mix it again a little bit. Okay, so you've mixed your chocolate in. You make sure that it's distributed evenly and nicely, and then you can take those out and just get all the dough off of these. And then you will need 2 small cake tins, the little bread tins. 2 of these is normally what I put mine into, and we're just going to spoon the mixture in there. Right, so we're just going to spoon it in evenly into 2 halves, into both cake tins, until all your dough has been put into each cake tin. Right, so we have the dough in 2 cake tins, evenly distributed. Now you're just going to use a fork just to flatten it and spread it out so that it's even all over. You don't want an uneven cake. Okay. And then you do it to the other one. Otherwise it will rise more on the one side than it does on the other. There we go. And then you put it into your oven that's been warmed up to 180 degrees. And you put it into the oven for about anything from 30 to 45 minutes. It all depends on your oven and how quickly it works. I normally do about 40 minutes, but then again it also varies on the temperature of the day, which today is really, really cold. And then what you can do if you want. Right, so it's been about half an hour, and because we've got small cake tins, we're just going to check them, because you can smell, it makes the whole house smell really nice, but you can smell the cakes are just about done. It's starting to smell like it's going to start burning, so just open the oven and check to see if your cake has been cooked through. So you just take a knife and you poke it in. It's still raw inside, so it's been about half an hour. We're going to leave it for another 10-15 minutes because it's still quite raw on the inside. When you're poking your knife in, just be sure that you're not poking through any of the chocolate, because the chocolate will obviously be melted. So you want to see the dough. If it comes out with dough on, then it's not cooked. And like I said, it's either 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on the size of your pan, your cake tin, and your oven. Right, so it's been about 45 minutes now, and the cake is ready to come out. So we're just going to check one more time just to make sure that it is ready. And again, take your knife and you stick it in there. See, everything's dry. There's no dough that sticks to the knife. So, take your cake out, put it on a cooling rack, and you let it cool off. Right, so we've taken the cake out of the oven after about 45 minutes. We've let the cake cool down. One of the cakes I've left in the cake tin. The other one I've taken out and put on a nice little plate or a serving dish. And what I normally do is I take a little bit of icing sugar, and then you just dust it over the top of the cake, just like that. This is obviously after you've put the rum in, if you want to put rum in. And if you want to put rum in, you just pour the rum over the top of the cake and let it soak in, and you do it little by little, obviously. So there's your little dusting of icing sugar. Now, this is edible glitter, which I like to put on top as well. It just adds a little bit of sparkle to the cake. Really pretty. And you just put it on top like that. Sprinkle it on top nicely. And you will see that it just adds a little bit of sparkle. I like to put quite a bit on. These cakes also make nice little gifts to be given to friends and family, along with Christmas cards. I like to be different and give something that I've made along with my Christmas card. And this is a little tradition my mom had, to make this cake only at Christmas time. And there you have it. My mom's. Right, and there you have it. A nice spicy cake to enjoy with a nice hot cup of tea. And if you cut it, cake is still very warm. That's what it should look like on the inside. There should be lots of little pieces of chocolate in amongst a nice spicy